Okay, you got it.
Rock. All right, good afternoon, Coach. We'll start with just a few opening comments from yourself, and then we'll open it up for questions.
Okay, first of all, we're really excited to be here. Holiday tournaments are always a special time. I remember when I played, going through it, going to the different places, being parts of the country that you've never been before with your team is pretty special. Those are the memories that last forever. Obviously, playing in a tournament that has high-quality competition. The teams that are here is obviously going to help us become a better basketball team and learn a little bit more about ourselves. And so, just really excited to be here.
I know you just got here, but first impressions of the Pentagon and the old school feeling.
It was amazing. I remember when we drove up last night, I was like, look at this complex. I mean, just absolutely beautiful. Great college basketball fans walking through and seeing the history and all the winners of the tournaments and seeing when the game first started, some of the old pictures kind of really, it almost felt like you were in a Hall of Fame situation, seeing the history of the game. And that's pretty darn special.
Terry, ready?
Yeah. Emmett's been a great addition to us. He's a high-level defensive player that's, I think, has the potential to really take it to the next step offensively. He's been a little bit inconsistent, but I think he's going to have a great tournament. He talked about South Dakota State. He said, the coach, they're really good. Man, these guys really shoot the ball, and they play so fast. And, I had already played them. That was pretty cool. And just talking about the environment. And our guys were really excited to get out of town and to be together and get a chance to bond and play basketball against some high-level competition. Yeah. You know what? It's one of the reasons why the job is so good is there's so much incredible talent in Seattle and the state, and there's not just the talent, but there's a love of basketball. Interesting. When I first got into coaching, I had my mentor had worked with the Supersonics, so 95, 96, I wasn't recruiting, and I would go there during the playoffs. And during their great years, and to see the love. And then when the Sonics had left, it's a basketball city. I mean, they love their basketball, and a lot of the ex-Sonics still live in the city. The basketball community, it was kind of one of those cities that was not overlooked, but everybody was like, God, they don't get the national recognition to the amount of talent, the amount of NBA players that they have, and the impact that they've had on the game. Isaiah Thomas, we've had so many different alumni that are from the area. Jamal Crawford's a huge, face in the community. And so the love of basketball is great. And then our fans, when they see, players from the state, the support that they get is on a different level. And that's what makes it so special. You know what? In the Pac-12, you play Thursday, Saturday, so you're playing with one day rest, and obviously all the teams have played in their conference tournaments where you got to play the 3 games. At Syracuse, when I was there, we were one of the first teams to win 5 games in 5 days, which you saw the rigors, a little bit of luck, a little bit of rhythm, a little bit of those types of things. But one game at a time. And it's going to be a challenge. I mean, you learn a lot. All the teams in this tournament are going to learn a lot about themselves, and it's also could give guys opportunities that haven't got opportunities, from foul trouble to fatigue to maybe some injuries. And so everybody's got to be on deck. Everybody's got to be ready to play.
All right, we'll take some questions for the folks who are online. We'll start with Chris Fetters. Go ahead, Chris.
Hey, Hop, this is Chris from Dogman, and
I miss not seeing you.
I apologize.
I got this Bose speaker, but I can visualize you. How you doing, buddy?
And I apologize. I couldn't hear any of the in-person questions, but I did kind of wonder about the idea that you have so many new pieces, so many moving parts with this team this particular season. what can you get out of a holiday tournament in terms of the bonding and the things that you talked about?
Well, great question. Sometimes when you're at home and you're a new group and you have 10 players, 9 players on roster from the area, family members, this and that, there can be a little bit extra stress and those types of things. And so being able to get away and just bonding. Last night we had a great dinner at a great restaurant, Minerva's, and we all it was all everybody down there. They were playing Uno. They were laughing, and those are the moments. Even as a player, Chris, growing up, I don't miss the games. I miss the hotel rooms. I miss the bonding that you have with your teammates. So that's going to be a huge factor with a new team. A lot of these guys know each other, and these extra games, you're going to get a lot of extra reps, and you get better with the reps. And we're going to play against some high quality competition. And that's how you're going to get better. And these guys had a good day of practice yesterday, and I felt like we got better yesterday, and hopefully we get better today, and hopefully we play well tomorrow.
Chris, any follow-ups?
Sorry, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. You mentioned the connection with San Diego or South Dakota State in terms of kind of knowing maybe a little bit about them from a player. Are there any other connections? Are there any other former ties or ways that maybe you've gotten some insights on some of the other opponents?
Well, it's interesting. Sorry, Kim English, the coach at George Mason, who's done a phenomenal job. I've known for a long time, and he was an assistant coach at Colorado for many years, and he was at Tennessee. He actually did the scout when Tennessee beat us in Toronto, so he knows us really well. He's done a heck of a job. And then Nevada, obviously, Steve Alford being at UCLA, and I think he was there for 1 year when we played or 2. And Aaron Blue, our ex-video coordinator, is the video coordinator at Nevada. So, and then obviously I've watched South Dakota play. I'm a fan of their coach. They play a great style. They're tough, so well coached, and so 3 really good teams with 3 really good coaches and a lot of familiarity.
Let's go to Masvita. Go ahead, Masvita.
Yeah. Hey, Hop, this is Masvita. Hey, quick question. How important and what is the messaging around building consistency in a tournament and using
Well, I think it's obviously really important knowing what you're going to get. After studying our last game, it's we got to shoot better, and we've got good shooters. We just looking at the shots that we got, there was probably out of the 26 threes, 20 of them were good shots, high quality shots, and we got good players. They'll knock them down, and you knock them down. It's just a different game, and so that consistency. We've been getting a lot of reps. Like I've told you many times, the dancing partners, we're stepping on each other's toes a little bit, but every day that you dance another dance, every day you get another practice, you get a little bit better and a little bit more comfortable with each other. And I think we saw it a little bit yesterday in practice.
And I mean, are you satisfied with
Go
the
ahead, Masvita.
decision making? Are you satisfied with the decision making, or is that something that's still working, whether it's the passing or the shooting and the decision making?
It's I look at it, people will look at it. I felt we only had 7 turnovers in last game. That's a great number for us. Obviously, we wish our assist numbers were higher, but you got to make shots to get assists. And but I thought our decision making and getting certain guys shots, I thought was, it can obviously be better, but there was some really strong points there. And then, the most important thing, at the end of regulation of last game, I think we were 10 for 11, to close the game, but in overtime we were 1 for 6, and those types of things, you can't do and expect to win. So we've been focused on those areas, getting better there. Our defense has been pretty good. That can still get better. We haven't played a lot of zone. But our man-to-man and our pressure has been really positive. And so the consistency there is good. And we always tell our guys the one thing you can control the controllables. And that's how hard you play, how smart you play. And, you can't always control if that ball goes in. That's part of the game. And we'll steadily improve on that and work on it every day.
Let's go back to Chris. Go ahead, Chris.
Hey, Hop, just wanted to know a little bit about your take on the shooting, the team shooting right now. I know obviously some guys are struggling a little bit, but then I know last season we saw how a guy like Jamal Bay really came on strong in conference play. Is it something that you just have to continuously work on, or is it something that is kind of ingrained in your identity and you just have to try to figure out ways to overcome it? How are you looking at that right now?
Well, you gotta take what the defense gives you. Jamal Bay is still shooting 41% from three. We've got to get him more shots. And then, we're teaching these guys what's a good shot for them, and we want them to be confident and knock it down. I mean, when teams play in the paint and they play right there, you got to be able to knock it down. And these guys have. Emmett Matthews, we saw a couple games ago, and it's just now it goes back to the consistency. He can shoot it. Dejon Davis, at Stanford shot over, I think 31, 32%. We've got guys, he scored over 1,000 points. It's a fun game when you're loose and having fun and everybody's sharing the ball. And we were better at that. The ball just didn't go in. But that's we're going to figure it out, and I'm really confident with our team that we'll shoot obviously better percentages.
To follow up real quick, I just wanted to know that in terms of shots really close to the cup, it just feels like you're not either getting the rolls or just there's something about what's happening near the rim. How can you work on stuff like that? How is that? I mean, how do you do that?
Chop wood, carry water. You just got to keep doing it every day. You just can't. It's one of those things. You make your strengths even greater, and you work on your weaknesses, and build confidence and belief. And we feel like we have the game before that we were 10 for 23 in shots on layups and dunks. With that now we have to be better offensive rebounders maybe. But we're getting where we need to get. Now it just goes back to finishing. But like I said, these guys have worked really hard. They've focused. They're learning and learning each other, and that's the fun part of going to work every day with a group of guys that are committed to that.
Thanks, Hop.
Masvita, anything more for Coach? I think we're good.
Sorry,
All right,
no,
thanks,
thank
Coach.
you. Thanks.
Appreciate it.
What do you say?
All set. Thank you.
All right, guys. Thank you.
All right, Coach, welcome to Sioux Falls. First, just a general statement, summary of what you expect to see this week.
Yeah, great opportunity for us. This tournament was appealing, because of the field and the venue. It's a place I've coached a game before. It's a great place for college basketball, and obviously the field was attractive. We tried to build our non-conference schedule, especially this first part, these first 8 games. All with programs that we think have a chance to, obviously you compete in their league, but also win at a high level in their conferences. So really excited to play all 3 of these opponents here in Sioux Falls.
First impressions of the facility and Heritage Court inside the Pentagon.
Well, it's not my first impression. I've been here before. It's good. It's a great college basketball venue, great courts, great rims, great fan support, and really, really good opponents.
Jerry, Freddie?
Coach, obviously a big week for you guys. Started with Maryland, get a lot of excitement, a lot of national visibility, and then it's true of the college basketball world. Doesn't mean you're going to win. What's this week been like for you guys? Kind of that glimpse of that, and then having to keep backing it up.
Yeah, we're still building our culture. What it takes to consistently be successful in college basketball, and we did it. We started off the season 3-0, and then we went into Maryland as the pseudo hunter. We were going in against the quote unquote bigger program, if you will, and our guys were up for it, and they did a great job executing to our standards. and we preach humility, and it's hard. It is hard. You have to go against human nature to constantly hear how great you are, hear how good you are, but block out all that noise and refocus onto the next task. And at James Madison, we were the hunted, and to perform as the hunted is a little more difficult than performing as a hunter. And again, I said it that night, but kudos to James Madison. They did what they were supposed to do. We didn't play to our standards nearly enough, and still we had the lead with less than 30 seconds to go. We couldn't get the win. We didn't deserve to win. Our three best players didn't have good games, and we had the lead with less than 30 seconds to go. So it's just a lesson to our guys about, whatever happens, possession by possession, half by half, game by game, you have to consistently play to your standards if you want to be successful in college basketball. Yeah. Defense and rebounding is who we are. We barely met the mark. We held them just under 40. I think that's a great question because the answer to it is we have 9 game goals, and I'm not going to get into all 9, but we were 1 for 9 in those game goals. Our program is built on defense and rebounding. On defense, we want to contest every shot, and we want to limit them to 1. On offense, we want to take care of the ball. We want to get a great shot. We've been answering the bell generally from the standpoint of great shots. We're one of the knock on wood, we're one of the best in the country at our effective field goal percentage. We have not been meeting the mark with ball security. And just watching it on film, it's just being locked in. It's just being – Dick Bennett calls it sure, being sure with the ball, sure in our passes, sure in our footwork, sure in our catching. And because of the way we built our schedule, with so many games on the front end of it, we don't have time to practice it anymore. All the practices were done from September 28th to November 9th. So now we have to get it done in games. And when you have a performance like we did the other night, 21 turnovers, teams are going to pressure us. To see if they can replicate that success that Madison had. And we have to get better in the games. Our guys have to take on the challenge, be strong with the ball, be sure, and keep getting the shots. Because when we have good players, when our guys get the shots we work on, the shots that we value, we feel really good about the outcome. We got to get to those shots and then stop turning the ball over so much. Yeah, the obstacle is what's right in front of you. We have a healthy roster. 12 of our 13 scholarship guys can go, and it's about winning the first possession, and that's it. I think Dwayne Simpkins has Nevada, Dennis Felton has South Dakota State. We're worried about Washington right now. And doing what we have to do to put ourselves in position to win as many possessions as we can and eventually try to win the game, and then we'll move on to the next. But it's a microcosm of what you will have to encounter in March, when you want to contend for a conference tournament championship, is winning 3 games in 3 days. So great challenge for our group. I feel good about our depth. And I think guys would rather be playing than practicing,
We'll take some questions online now. Marcus Washington joins us. Go ahead, Marcus.
Hey, Coach. How you doing today? The last 2 games, the road games, it seems like your free throw attempts kind of dip. How can you reestablish getting the guys, getting downhill, getting aggressive to get that number back up the way it was at home?
Yeah, we haven't, done a great job getting to the free throw line this season. I think we're around we're in the lower 100s or 200 and free throw attempt to field goal ratio. It's absolutely something we want to do a better job of getting higher, not necessarily, getting to the line. We want to get to the paint more. We really value getting to the paint. Fouls usually result in that. We shoot a lot of threes, so it's not a lot of fouls to be had when you're shooting the ball from three so much. I honestly like the way things have been officiated this season. We haven't been fouling much. Our opponents haven't been getting to the free throw line much, and I think it's been a pretty consistent physical brand of officiating so far, 5 games into the season. We do value the free throw line, absolutely. We want to shoot more free throws we want to make more free throws than our opponent attempts. That's one of our 9-game goals. We didn't do that the last game. James Madison made 14 to our attempted 13.
And, there's a lot of new faces in Fairfax, yours included, but a lot of new players. How does a trip like this help this team bond? I know you had 2 road games in a row. Now you're away for 3 more games. How does that help you bond as a team and as a program?
Yeah, we feel great where our guys are as friends. That bond started with the returners. That started on March 23rd. And obviously they obviously had relationships, but with the new guys, the incoming freshmen, the transfers, that started in June when they arrived to campus. We spend it's funny, I'm looking at the speaker. Wow. Our guys spend a lot of time with each other off the court, whether it's planning things, it's, organic. Our guys are a great group of guys. They're all really good friends, and I think their friendship off the court translates to really unselfish play on the court.
And you've scheduled very aggressively, which is kind of, heartwarming to see. Going forward, can we expect for George Mason year after year after year to have this type of quality schedule?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, as long as teams will agree to play us. My previous boss, Rick Barnes, you take a look at Tennessee's schedule this year. You only get better. You only get prepared for conference play. You only get a chance to secure an at-large bid to the NCAA tournament if you play people. And we will play anyone in the country, anywhere. And I take great pride in never trying to just schedule, sub 200, sub 300 opponents. We want to play teams that will contend in their league, and with the thought that it'll help us contend in ours.
Thank you, Coach, and good luck.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Marcus. All right. I think that's all the questions we have. Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
That's great. Love it.